Hey guys, welcome back to Dogforge. My name's Paul, and this is our first entry in the Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants. Almost said Path of the Giant, slip of the mind. And in this first video, we'll be taking a look at our only subclass option in that book, the Barbarian's Path of the Giant. Now let's get into what is most definitely not my fourth attempt at trying to record this video. So, at third level, we're going to get two different features. The first being Giant Power. You get Giant as a language, or a different language of your choice if you already know it, and a cantrip of your choice, either Druidcraft or Thaumaturgy, with Wisdom as your spellcasting ability. Druidcraft feels kind of like giants are primal like druids, and we want to make this a choice. Thaumaturgy, however, feels very flavorful, particularly for the booming voice and harmless tremors you can create with it. So that is nice out of combat roleplay flavorish utility on that I'm a big fan of. And then Giant is pretty much just a must-have for a Giant flavored subclass. Give them the language, why not? But the meat and potatoes of this level is Giant's Havoc, which itself is divided into two sub-features. The first, Crushing Throw, lets you add your rage damage to strength-based thrown weapon attacks. Now, it's probably a pretty common mistake that people think that rage damage is applied anyway, or they make it a house rule that it just does apply. However, this has been a hole in the Barbarian's core design. I think it's really mostly an oversight, or maybe leaning too hard into them being a melee class. So this is a needed patch, but it also is the beginning of this subclass becoming the ranged barbarian, which is very interesting, and we will see that develop later on. But you also get Giant Stature. This is going to increase your reach by 5 feet, and if you're smaller than large and you have the room to grow, you and all your possessions that you're wearing grow to large size. If there isn't enough room, you don't grow. Being larger is going to mean that you can shove and grapple larger creatures, you're going to have a larger threatened area, you're going to be a larger physical obstacle to kind of like plug in choke points and that kind of thing. And increasing your reach is great just because, again, bigger threat radius, you're going to be able to attack from further away to help mitigate not being able to reach people sometimes. And of course the reach thing is going to stack with a reach weapon like a glaive, so that you can have 10 feet go to 15 feet. Very nice. And this is all going to get more interesting later on as well. But moving down from that to the 6th level feature, Elemental Cleaver. This feature. When you rage, you choose a elemental damage type, so acid, cold, fire, thunder, or lightning, and that one weapon you're holding becomes infused with that damage. All of the damage it does is converted to that damage type, and you get an extra d6 of damage. So instead of a greatsword, say, doing 2d6 slashing, it would do 3d6 lightning. That's very good. But it gets better. You can change the damage type as a bonus action, so you don't need to re-rage, so you can change to avoid resistances, take advantage of vulnerabilities. That's a great quality of life thing. And it also becomes a thrown weapon with a range of 20 feet normally and 60 feet long distance. And when you throw it, it's a returning weapon and immediately comes back, so you can use it with extra attack and whatnot. This is crazy. This makes it a full ranged barbarian. So you can, say, take, I don't know, Polar Master, make 2 attacks, throwing your glaive, and then take your bonus attack, throwing your, like, the other end of your glaive, and you get 3d6 additional damage on top of that. So this is not just a very versatile barbarian in terms of the larger size, longer reach, being able to throw stuff, but the sheer damage increase here also makes it a very good contender for just a high damage barbarian period. Especially if you're looking more towards builds and like combining stuff. That extra d6, like stacking with more attacks on, say, an action surge, very nice. Moving on from that to our 10th level feature, which is where things continue to get crazy, we have Mighty Impel. This is you basically throw people around. As a bonus action, a medium or smaller creature you can move, you're throwing them. Anywhere you can see within 30 feet of yourself, and it's people within your reach. So as your reach gets bigger, when you get bigger, you can move people, further away from you. This is going to be great for just like helping position people. If you have a fellow melee person that doesn't have the movement you do and they won't get into melee in that turn, you can help move them. You can get allies away from monsters in melee if they don't want to be in melee, like casters or archers. And if you want to use it on an unwilling, I was going to say participant, a monster, then they make a strength saving throw with the DC set by your strength modifier, which is very nice. And if they aren't on a surface or liquid that supports them, they fall and take damage landing prone as normal. So move your allies around, great bit of like mobility for the party. But if you can use a bonus action to throw a monster up in the air 30 feet, it lands, takes 3d6 fall damage, lands prone, and then you can take your action and attack it with advantage without having to take the risk of using reckless attack. That is crazy good, right? That's just crazy good. And it has kind of a built-in kind of thing, because like at this point you already have brutal critical and you have the extra d6s from elemental cleaver, so you're really turning that advantage and by extension the increased chance to crit into just an absolute monster blender. It's really got a lot of potential here. And moving into our final feature at 14th level, we have Demiurgic Colossus, because if I don't have to struggle to say something, it's not really a video. So this is going to increase our reach by 10 feet, allow you to go up to huge, but you can choose to be large if you want, so you can tailor it to the environment. And when you use Mighty Imbel to move creatures, you can now move larger, smaller creatures, so it's more applicable to monsters, and the damage from Elemental Cleaver scales to 2d6. This is crazy. You could be a huge barbarian with a glaive. Oh, let's do the extreme. You could be a huge bugbear, giant barbarian with a glaive, and you would have a reach of 25 feet? 5 feet normally, 5 feet bugbear, 10 feet from this, 5 feet from your glaive. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. 2d6 per hit at this level, when you've definitely had enough ASIs to grab something like Polearm Master if you want. Absolutely insane. This barbarian is not only very versatile in how you can approach the battlefield. You can move enemies, grapple enemies so that you wouldn't be able to normally, move your allies around, you can skirmish, you can do purely ranged. But you also just do a lot of damage, right? I haven't gone through and done a comparison to say against the Zealot or a Claw using Beast. However, this is a very solid damage-based barbarian with a whole lot of other really great stuff to it. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I did rate all of the Barbarian subclasses before this book came out, and I'm not going to redo that video until there's more subclasses, if there will be, to make it worth it. However, I will say that having gone through all of this, it is most definitely S tier. There's nothing really bad about this, it's all good that gets better. If I was to give any kind of criticism to this, it's that I would say that the 3rd level feature is really, it's okay. Getting a bigger reach, getting bigger, that's all good. I kind of would have liked to have seen a damage increase at this point, but given Elemental Cleaver is what it is, I understand it's at the 6th level, and being able to grow, get the reach, that's still great at 3rd level. That is the only incredibly minor criticism I have of this subclass right now. It's a great subclass, I'm looking forward to both using it and seeing it used in play, but that's just what I'm gushing over apparently. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this, and if you've made it this far, why don't you hit that like button and that subscribe button. I do greatly appreciate it, and it does help the channel grow and help make sure that I keep doing this, and I do enjoy it. But I've been Paul, and I will see you next time at the Forge.